regulation. And we are discussing notaries and emergency rules for notaries republic. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? So my name is Lauren Lehman, for the record. I'm General Counsel of the Vermont Regulation. I'm here today for to request that the committee confirm its legislative intent for some proposed rules that we are seeking, emergency rules that we're seeking renewal of. So I submitted a letter before the break, the town meeting break, and I submitted it again yesterday. The letter requests renewal. So the rules are the emergency administrative rules for notaries public and remote notarization. And these rules were adopted on March 13th, 2020, and initially to facilitate notarial acts when people could not meet in person during COVID, but we wanted essential transactions to be able to continue. Real estate transactions, adoptions, wills, powers of attorney, all those things to be able to continue. Previously, the statutes had required that you have to be in person, the person signing the record and the notary. These rules facilitated that to occur via audio visual means. We have continued to ask LCAR to adopt these rules and renew these rules because they expire after 180 days, 5 times since they were originally adopted in March 2020. And the reasons for that have been an ongoing pandemic and because the rules under the notary public the authorities, the activities a notary public's authorized to engage in have been changing. So last year, this committee with your colleagues passed a large notary public bill that would allow remote electronic notarization and the performance of notarial acts for remotely located individuals. So the emergency rules really reflect the same intent as that legislation. And now we come to kind of this this point where we need to implement the new law and adopt rules before that new law can go into effect. And once we do that, we won't need the emergency rules anymore. We have not had the staff or the time to adopt those rules for Act 171. And so we want to ask LCAR to adopt the rules one more time, to give us till September, essentially, to establish these permanent rules for Act 171. Before we go to LCAR and when we go to LCAR, we'd like to reflect that this request is consistent with the intent of this committee. SGO reviewed this 2 weeks ago and they've given us their consent to reflect that on the record. And so I come to you today to ask that if I can say on the record to LCAR that renewal of the emergency rules would be consistent with this the committee's intent.
And as a member of LCAR, I can say that during the emergency rulemaking process over the past couple of years, we've extended numerous emergency rules. It's not a problem, and to have a letter of intent from the Committee of Jurisdiction, it's always a help. So
Thank you.
I'm sure there won't be any problem with LCAR's ability to extend the emergency rule.
Excellent news. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions right now? So essentially just looking because of the staffing issues and just time surrounding the implementation, just the rule extension right now is essentially buying you the time. Yep. Okay. I think it's pretty clear. Does the chair have anything to add?
Thank you, Lauren, for coming in. Sorry, I was with your colleague over in Senate Gov.Ops talking about our OPR bill. So
there right now.
Probably do over there as well. So yeah, committee, I guess I'm pretty familiar with this issue and read up on the memo, but could I get a sense, maybe thumbs up or hands that we're okay with me echoing our Senate Gov.Ops colleagues that we're okay with the extension until September? Okay, great. Mm-hmm. So Warren, I will work to get you something quickly on paper officially summarizing that, but Sounds like House Gov.Ops and Senate Gov.Ops are good with an extension.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. We're here being heard on April 13th, so no urgency.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you.
All right. Great. Committee, thank you for bearing with the scheduling changes and everything that's going on. It looks like we're just about at time to switch gears here to hear a little bit about the couple of the budget recommendations that were in public safety's requests. That we, just because of scheduling, couldn't get the right people in before our budget memo. We had kind of just put a sticky note basically virtually in our budget memo saying we'd take a look at these two items. So one is, they're both listed actually on our agenda specifically around Vest's $190,000 budget request and hiring incentives. I had forwarded the committee the memo from, I think it actually came from the Vermont State Police, but it was from Commissioner Morrison that had, some images with vests and a little bit of an explanation of these kind of new style of how they can wear the vest. That's a little easier for them to deal with. And we can hear a little bit of that from Colonel Birmingham or I don't know if Deputy Director Hallenbeck is going to speak to both items.
Good morning. We're waiting for the Colonel.
Okay, great.
Rick Hallenbeck, Director of Finance Administration and Public Safety.
Great. Do you want us to take a quick break and give Colonel Birmingham a minute to get here?
Sure, that would be for the best.
And that'll let me run upstairs and get my bag off the floor and be able to get all my devices set up. So it's been a busy afternoon. Yeah, right. It's very unusual for me not to have all the electronics in front of me. So committee, why don't we just take 5 minutes and then hopefully we'll get both of our witnesses here and can take up these two matters. So we'll take a quick break here, but